We're talking with Paul Jowett, an Associate Director at Jones Lang LaSalle and also Head of Retail Consultancy. And we're going to be discussing the issues of knowledge management. Paul, can we begin by asking you to define knowledge management for us?
Sure. For Jones Lang LaSalle, knowledge management is gathering, retaining and using data and information. The two are different. One comes from the other. That knowledge is what we use as part of our business, is what we sell to our clients. It's what we do every day. It's our business. Knowledge is our business.
Would you say that Jones Lang LaSalle then has a very positive culture towards the sharing of knowledge?
Very, very much. I've been in the Beijing office here for about 18 months now, and when I came here, the head of Asia Pacific, Peter Barge, came and delivered a presentation to the whole of the office, and he was reviewing, talking about the year gone by, what we'd achieved, and the targets for the year ahead. I remember at the end of the presentation, one of the participants said to him, "What about funding for staff training?" And it was significant. He answered, "Yes, we are boosting spending on staff training again this year," and he itemised some of the programs. But he went on to say, he said, "I'm often asked by staff members how to improve their skills, how to improve our skills, our knowledge." And he said, "I always tell them to read widely." And then he went on to say he himself reads 200 books a year. And he kept talking, and I paused and I thought, 200 books a year? That's a lot of reading. The guy's running the office, running the whole business, and he reads 4 books a week. But I think the important thing there is the message that this man, he's the leader, he's leading the organisation, and he has respect for lifetime learning. And that message goes right across the organisation. He is an ex-teacher, so I guess that's part of where that comes from. And he's actually written books himself. He's written a book on decision making. So yes, very much so. There's a culture, there's a respect coming right from the top about the importance of knowledge in the organisation, yes.
Paul, information becomes knowledge, which is useful for management within Jones Lang LaSalle, but how does that process actually occur?
It needs to be processed, and we do that in our research team, and every day in our work we gather data directly from the marketplace, and through our abilities and our skills we process that into something usable for our clients. I think importantly the 4 areas there are, I think, where the organisation supports the growth of knowledge throughout all the staff and throughout the organisation. They are the IPMP, the way our staff develop plans for themselves from year to year, which are approved by their managers. They are charged with, they have to write a plan which includes how they will develop their skills and develop their knowledge on a year-to-year basis. Those plans are very determinedly followed up by the managers and make sure that everyone's achieving their targets. That's one thing. Another is mentoring. That's very much a part of the culture here, that the more experienced staff take on board one of the junior members and make sure that in all things, in all the aspects of their professional development, they're guided through. And there's something akin to that as a buddy system for new people who come to the office, are given someone to work with so they progress through. Also though, taking on innovative projects, that's something new, taking on things that are not within our usual realm of work. We're lucky here at the moment in Beijing because the market is busy, and so we can pick and choose a little bit of the projects we take. But yes, certainly, as I said, been here for 18 months and we've taken on some quite innovative projects. One of those, I guess, is the Beijing airport, where that's moved slightly away from the usual retail development model, where we are assisting developers to try and get retail customers to come dwell in a shopping centre and spend. With the Beijing airport, we've taken a different view of customer buying habits. particularly on one side, the main architect of the airport, their main focus is to get people out of their cars, through the process and onto an aeroplane as fast as possible. Our job has been to slow them down and trying to get them to buy something. But they are still moving through the airport, so their buying habit and what they buy at the airport is quite different from a normal shopping centre. So innovative projects like that, where we're thinking differently from what we would normally do, is another area where knowledge expands. I think the fourth thing, the other one is having different roles in different projects. That's important in any organisation, that you might act as a project manager in one project, as a researcher in another project, as a participant in another project. We can do that here, and it happens naturally because I don't speak the local language. My Chinese is terrible. And so that means if the client is Chinese and the reports have to be issued in Chinese, I have to play a lower role, a different role in that process. In other instances, the client might be from overseas, and so our roles change. So that's quite good. We all within our team can take on different roles for different projects. So again, it's a development thing.
Paul, you've mentioned clients in that discussion. Obviously, they're central to JLL's business success. Knowledge management theory suggests that placing a staff member within your client's office or organisation actually helps to share the knowledge. Does that happen with JLL?
Very much. Very much at the moment in Beijing in this market. Because, again, talking of my area, retail, Western style of retailing, mall retailing I guess it's been, is quite new still in Beijing. It's only 10-year-old I guess. It's always been large department stores up until 5 or 10 years ago. So the idea of developing a shopping centre where all the participants, the retailers, the owner, the customers have a shared experience and they depend on one another is quite new, as opposed to independent retailers. So yes, so the developers are keen to get experience on how to do that. So yes, Jones Lang have, we're working on several centres here in Beijing now, and we have staff located in those centres sharing knowledge, sharing experience with the developers team.
If I was to be a new employee at Jones Lang LaSalle and I wanted to access this information, how would I go about it?
That's so important, isn't it? Because knowledge stored is no good unless it can be accessed, unless it can be used. Yep. Delphi is the name of our website, our knowledge website, and every staff member can access it. And that too is a good story. When I came here 18 months ago, 16 months ago, I was given a new project and something I'd not tackled before. And so straight onto Delphi to have a look. And yes, sure enough, I found there it was another airport retailing project. And I thought, where can I find some information? I went on there and I found a catalogue of other work that Jones Lang has done in airports around the world. And I thought, oh, gee, this is good. Here's something I can not cut and paste, but I've got a pedigree proof for the new client. Yes, we've done all this work before. And yes, you learn from that and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You see others have done it. So yes, accessing the knowledge is important to be able to get to it. And another example of that is every day at lunchtime, an email comes to every staff member's email box. The email is called Real Estate Daily. And someone, probably a team of people in Singapore, I guess, are sitting there combing through the Asia Pacific newspapers and selecting articles on real estate issues right across Asia Pacific. So every day I click on them and I have a look. First of all, because I'm from Melbourne, I look what's happening in Melbourne, I look what's happening in Beijing, Shanghai, okay, and there's things happening in the Philippines and Singapore and other places. If I'm interested, if it's one of my clients, I'll stop and I'll read it. But the information's there. So you read something, 3 months later, 2 months later, oh, I know where that is, I can go back and access it. So you're right, accessing information is crucial.
Paul, is there a formal procedure within the firm to ensure the freshness or currency of the information?
I said at the start, Peter Barge has been very supportive of research. He started the campaign last year called quality advice, quality decisions. Quality advice is what we sell to our clients for them to make their decisions. We can't give quality advice unless we've got good research. So he got behind that and he's put funding behind it. So yes, there are people working on updating that research all the time. And I've forgotten the actual numbers, but I know in the last few months a lot more funds have been put into a new campaign called An Apple a Day, which is keeping the research fresh and updating. So yes, there's financial backing behind it.
Can you give me a practical example of the way that knowledge management is implemented at JLL?
Yes. It's said in management that it's important to have anecdotes to be able to pass on to staff about how knowledge is working, how you have successes out of knowledge management. And one of those is, again, delivered to each staff member by email, are regular success stories. So Jones Lang, we all learn by mistakes, but Jones Lang learns by successes as well. We spread out to employees by email a success story, newspaper format, very easy to read, picture and three components. What we've just won, the business we've just won, why we won the job and what we learned from it. 3 short paragraphs, names of those who were involved. So again, you receive in your email, you can have a quick look through and see, okay, we've won that job, I know that client, next time I go there, I'll talk to this person. So the knowledge is shared and once again, it's a matter of having it accessible to everybody.
Paul, you've already mentioned that the Singapore office collates data and distributes it throughout Jones Lang LaSalle worldwide. By that, are you implying that there are standard definitions of data, standard ways of understanding the information across different countries?
That's good. And to digress but talk around that a little bit, just in the last few days, we've had a standard dictionary definition, a standard book of definitions in a dictionary, a live electronic version being put onto our Delphi website. And it's very good because you can go to a dictionary and get for all sorts of real estate terms, but usually they're published in England or they're published in Australia, and so you get the local content. This one has got content from all over the Asia Pacific. So if you want to, plus conversion table. So if you want to convert square meters to Taiwanese ping, it can do that for you. If you want to know what a residual interest is in Beijing, is it the same thing as in Australia? We'll give you the different definitions. So yes, there are standards to the data and to the knowledge, and it's that sort of tool is very good for understanding that. Okay.
Done.
I didn't introduce myself. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Because you went straight to questions.
Yeah, I did actually.
Okay.
That's my fault. Okay. What are you going to say about yourself? Just your role in
Just how long I've been here for 18 months, etc. Yeah.
I won't. You just do it then.
Okay. No, you've got to say something to start with.
Paul, can you describe your role in Jones Lang LaSalle here in Beijing?
Sure, yes. Well, I've been with Jones Lang for about 6 years, in 5 years in Australia, and about 18 months here in Beijing. And I'm within the retail department, and I head up the retail consultancy area. So our clients are developers of retail real estate, and they pay for our advice on how to develop their retail real estate.
Paul, thank you for your time today, and all the best with your time in China.